Rice, and you're listening to Supergirl Radio.
I think the CW are just trying to win the time slot war with Supergirl Radio.
Supergirl Radio is going live every night of the week. How do you like it? Is becoming a human burrito a plus or a minus? I don't know. It does seem snug.
I mean, they say you are what you eat.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So I do a podcast called Supergirl Radio, and one of our segments is Lena Luthor, Boardroom or Ballroom, because
She looks like a boss in this coat.
Is Nasty Luthor like a different Luthor? It's not just Lena being mean?
No.
Helen Slater here. It's so fun to know that you're hosting a podcast called Supergirl Radio.
Welcome to Supergirl Radio, your source for all things related to the CW Supergirl TV series and the character of Kara Zor-El. My name is Rebecca Johnson, and even though my co-host Morgan Glennon couldn't be with us for this episode of the podcast, she is feeling a little under the weather this week. So everybody send her well wishes so that she will feel better. So we're going to miss her on this episode of the podcast, but we are live and wired with Toni, who runs the Instagram account at T_Marie_collectibles to chat about her Supergirl collection. Thank you so much for being with us, Toni.
Thank you for having me.
I am so jealous every time you post something on Instagram. Supergirl Radio has been following you for some time now, and you have such a wonderful collection, and it inspires me to want to keep going with mine. So thank you for sharing all of your awesome stuff. And so we're gonna talk to you about your love of Supergirl and the things that you've collected. And if anybody in the live chat has any questions for Toni, feel free to ask them. And if you have some things that you want to share, if you have some cool things in your Supergirl collection, I guess the easiest way to do it would be to tweet us at Supergirl Radio or post a picture to Instagram and tag at Supergirl Radio, and then maybe just share a link in the live chat. And then that way we can pull it up and everybody can take a look at it. Or we can share it later if you don't get a chance to do it during the podcast. Because I know everybody has a little bit of a collection, even if it's not Supergirl things, everybody collects something. So we would love to see it. So Toni, I have some questions for you about your collection. But the first thing that we always ask people when it's their first time on Supergirl Radio is this question. How did you first encounter the character of Supergirl?
Yeah, I first got this comic like when I was 9. And I never fully read through it at the time, but I started like looking into that series, but right now I'm still reading the was it the Peter David one?
Yes, the Peter David
series, right?
Yeah, so the Peter David run is the one that I always talk about that I love so much, but it's the kind of the bonkers one. It's the Linda Danvers merges with Matrix Supergirl, and she's like an Earth Angel with wings of fire and everything. She talks to God at one point. It's bonkers, but oh man, what a good read!
Interesting though.
It is. It's actually really well written, and the art is really nice. So it's maybe not the first Supergirl story I would put in front of somebody because it might be a little confusing to some people, but it's a great read. So you actually started with that though. Is that from the series?
Actually, you know what? I started watching the show first of anything, out of everything rather. I started kind of late though because I didn't really, I wasn't really following it. And I didn't really know about it until like the 3rd, 4th season. But when I started watching it, I really, really enjoyed it. And I still do. And then I found out about the 90s comic series, and I've been reading that. And I also read the miniseries, the 6th comic issue based off of the show as well.
Ah, yes, I have that somewhere down in my stash of things. The Adventures of Supergirl tie-in series written by Sterling Gates. What a good comic series. It's actually, I always sort of point people when they're first interested in Supergirl comics. I always point them to Sterling Gates first. That's always the trick that really gets people in. So yeah, it's a great run on the character in general, but also a really cool tie into the show. Well, that's awesome. Well, it sounds like you have some really good connections there with the show first, and then also with the comics, and one of my favorite runs, the Peter David run, which has a very interesting take on Comet the Super Horse. If anyone is interested, it gets a little complicated, but
I was in there and I was like, "What is this?" I'm like, "This is cool though. I love this." I was not expecting that, but I'm like, "This is awesome."
it is complicated, but if you stay with it, it's pretty interesting. We're gonna have to cover that sometime on Supergirl Radio. It's gonna blow Morgan's mind grapes. She's gonna really enjoy that. Okay, well, very, very cool. Well, thank you for sharing about your first encounter with the character of Supergirl. So, since you did start watching the TV show, what do you think about Melissa Benoist as Supergirl and her portrayal of the character?
I love her portrayal so much. Like, she is so good at playing the character. I love how like nerdy she makes the character in like the earlier seasons, and just I love how she shows everything about the character in general, just like the human side and the superhero side. And I mean, like, Melissa is a real life Supergirl, so that's, I don't know what else to say about just her being so amazing with it.
This is true. She, you can tell that a little bit of Melissa comes out in her portrayal of Kara.
Absolutely.
Even though I don't know her personally, but just from what I've seen, you know, in interviews and things like that, it does seem like a little of her personality gets put into the character, which is really cool. So speaking of that version of the character, since you do collect Supergirl things, do you have some specific Melissa Benoist Supergirl TV series things in your collection?
I do. I've actually been trying to focus on finding those items more because I feel like it's kind of difficult other than like the few things they have released. There's some action figures. I have like this really cool statue. It's like my favorite thing. This one right here. I love
Oh my
this.
gosh. So how big is that? That's a pretty big statue there.
Yeah. So
that is awesome. Oh, cool. So it's got an S shield on the stand there. Very cool. That's awesome. So when you look for things to collect about the show, what are you looking for specifically?
I like looking for just like the more odd things, the random things, to be honest, or like the rarer things. I've been trying to get a lot of the trading cards, the more rare ones, like the autograph ones, prop cards, wardrobe cards, and also I've been stalking eBay for cast and crew listings. And there's a couple of people that sell that kind of like just TV merchandise from cast and crew members, and I've been like finding some, and I'm like, here, take my money. So
that's really cool. So you're trying to find not just the things that everybody can buy. You're trying to find the rare pieces. So that's very cool. So so when you look on eBay, like are you searching for a very specific thing, or do you just type in Supergirl and see what happens?
So I have like a ton of searches saved. So it like gives me like a notification when
nice.
anything matches those keywords.
Smart.
I'm just like, I need this. Bye. Or like if it's a little pricey, sometimes if they don't have a make offer button, I'll message them and ask, because it never hurts to ask, and sometimes they do like give you a good price on it. Like I have some. Sorry.
No, I was just about to say that's very true. It never hurts to ask. That's a good policy.
And I have some cool stuff coming soon. I actually have, it's over in another part of my room, but I have like a copy of one of the scripts, and then another one that's supposed to be an original script that was given to the seller.
That's really cool. Which episode? Do you remember?
I'm just curious. I do not off the top of my head.
That's really cool. Well, if I don't know, can you share that on Instagram? I'd kind of like to see how they format and write those scripts and see if there's anything they have in there.
I don't know if I can or not. I mean,
that's a good question.
Well,
I guess if it's part of your collection, I don't guess it matters.
Yeah, I don't think it would. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with owning them. Like the person had it themselves, and I think they would have, if there was something, not legal about it.
Yeah,
it would have been against eBay's guidelines. So yeah, I can definitely show you.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I've actually collected a few scripts. I have a Bird script, the Alfred Hitchcock movie, a Bird script signed by Tippi Hedren.
Cool.
I'm a big Hitchcock fan. So that's one of the things. And I think I have a Murphy Brown script somewhere. Big fan of Murphy Brown, the original series, not the reboot. The reboot was not great, but but the original back in the day was a solid show. So I think I have one of those somewhere. So yeah, the scripts are actually pretty fun because you get to actually see what they emphasize. Are there any special notes that they put in there? So definitely look at that and see if there's anything that's stands out as unique.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten a chance to like fully look through them yet. I have them, but I just been working a lot, so I haven't had like the proper like time to sit down and just really appreciate them yet. But they're there, and I did put them away for safety, though.
Yeah, it would take you some time to sit there and read through them, but that's really, really cool. Well, you mentioned the trading cards, so I'm very curious about the trading cards because I couldn't access them because I think I recently moved a couple of years ago, and so I still have a lot of my stuff in a storage unit, and so I think I have some Supergirl the movie trading cards, and I think they're in my storage unit because I could not find them. So I wish I could show them to you tonight while we're doing this live stream. But one of the things that I love about your Instagram is you do share those trading cards. And the trading cards are very interesting to me because those, and I don't know what your policy is about trading cards as a collector, because some people will probably buy 2 packs, one that you can open and one that stays sealed because it's probably a little more valuable if you don't open it. But I am curious about the trading cards. So will you tell the listeners and the viewers about the Supergirl trading cards?
Yeah, absolutely. So so I buy the sealed boxes and I open all the packs because I want to see what's inside, because one box usually comes with an autographed card. I think it's a wardrobe card, and sometimes they come with a prop card, and they come with like chase cards. Sometimes there's like star power cards you can get. The base set, and then like the artifacts set, the location set, and then the character bio set. And then there's like a rainbow foil variant of all of those pretty much. And that's been fun getting all of those. And then there's another one with like I think it's called like a Megatron or something like that. And it has like a little red logo on the bottom, and it's like all of the cards again. I don't have all of those yet. I'm still working on getting those because it gets pricey sometimes.
Yeah, the cards, one time when I looked at the cards, I was like, oh, I'll have to save up for those. So okay, so you mentioned wardrobe cards. So break those down for us. What does all that mean? So if it's a wardrobe card, is it just showing off a piece of clothing that a character wore?
It's they take parts of the character's outfits, and then they cut them up and put them into the cards.
So is there a favorite card that you have? Like, is there one that sticks out to you?
For like just overall or out of the wardrobe?
Yeah, just overall.
I have this one. I have to see if it's in this binder or the other one. It's it was a Philly sports or non-sports trading card show, and it's metal. I have to find it. I think it's in the other binder, but they also have like really cool the printing plates that they use to make them. So I think they have like 3 printing plates per card. They're like different colors. I think they're just like, it's like a yellow, a blue.
So when you say the printing plates, do you actually have the thing that they would have gone in?
I don't have the thing we would have used with them, but I have like the printing plate cards.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. I can pull one out and show you. It's like this.
Oh, wow. That is so cool. So for audio listeners, if you're not watching this, Toni has it looks like the trading card, but it's sort of faded a little bit. It's kind of black and white, but it's the printing version. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it's like aluminum, I think, or some sort of metal. And it was used in like the process of like making that particular card.
And how did you get that? Did it come with the set, or did you have to go find that separately?
So they put them randomly in boxes, and if you buy like a whole hobby, like case of them, there's like 12 boxes in that case, and one case comes with one of those cards. And sometimes people just sell them on eBay, and I snag them if they're cheap enough, but they get pricey sometimes, and I can't afford all of them.
No, I understand. I understand. So we did have a question from the chat about where do you get the cards. So it
Oh,
does
yeah.
sound like a lot of times you find them online, eBay, those kinds of places.
Yeah, mostly eBay is where I find most of my stuff, actually. Yeah, pretty much all my stuff either comes from eBay or Macari.
And what was that second one?
Macari?
I've never heard of that. What is that? Is that another like a retail online?
Yeah, it's
store?
it's kind of like an eBay
Okay.
site. People buy and sell stuff on there all the time, and there's like just random. Sometimes there's like stores that sell through there, and sometimes it's just like random people that have stuff that sell on there. I sell some stuff on there actually.
Well, that's cool. Well, that's sometimes the downside of collecting so many things is that you might get to the point where you have so many things that you might have to get rid of them. Sometimes that's the quandary, especially like a comic book collection. I have a lot of friends who have had to sell their comic book collections or their DVD collections just because they have so much and they have to get rid of it. So unfortunately, that is the case sometimes. But that's really cool. So the trading cards are really, really neat. Are there any other things that you collect that you find that like some of the more unique parts of your collection that you want to show us?
I guess like magnets, maybe.
Ooh, magnets, yes. So are those custom magnets or are those like official magnets that were sold by either CBS or the CW?
These ones were all official ones up here. They were by the brand Attaboy.
Oh.
They do a lot of like pop culture stuff, and it has like their licensing stuff on the back. So like here's like one of them. It's just like what was this, season 2, I think.
Yeah, I think some of that season 2. Yeah, that looks like. So you have the whole cast. It looks like for the most part.
I have John, I have Alex, Kara, Kat, Wynn, and James. I don't know if they made any more than those. I think because a lot of the stuff they were making was from like season 1 and season 2, and I noticed they haven't like really made anything after that.
Yeah, that's something that we'll talk about when we sort of wrap up our conversation, because that is the quandary of the Supergirl collector is that there is somewhat of a lack of things to collect. But those magnets are really awesome, and you can always use a magnet, even if you you can display them, but they're also functional. You can actually use them to put things on your refrigerator and everything. And it looks like you have quite the Supergirl collection, but you also have, I see some Martian Manhunter there on that shelf. So what all do you have there in the corner there with Jean?
I just wanted to show you the this metal card first. This is like completely metal, and this was this is one of my favorite ones because this was a limited edition one, only sold at the Philly non-sports trading card show.
Wow. So how did you come across that one?
eBay. Literally everything's from eBay, and I have some autographed cards in here as well if you want to check those out.
Yeah, sure. So the autograph cards did those come in the set?
Yeah, they come in one per box.
Okay. So whose autograph do you have?
I have Britt Morgan. I do have Kyler's. I don't have Melissa's yet, unfortunately. Hers is really hard to find. I have Hope Lauren. There's like a whole bunch. I can see if I can just.
All right, well, we'll hang in there with Toni while she adjusts.
You know what? I don't even know if I can turn my camera around, actually.
Yeah, there is a way to do it. I think you have to go into the cam mic settings.
Okay.
But yeah, so if you want to try it, you can. It might take some working to do it. Let's see if there are any questions in the chat. Oh yeah, we got it. Yeah, we can see your camera.
see if it goes back.
Oh, it looks like we lost Toni. We'll get her back as she adjusts her camera. Let's see. Let's see what everybody is talking about in the chat here while we wait for Toni to come back. So, Silhouette Animator says Supergirl has 3 tie-in books, Age of Atlantis being the one. I do have one of those here. Let's see. I pulled one of those out. I think I have 2 of the 3. I have the Master of Illusion. This is written by Joe Whittemore. I'm assuming that these are the books that Silhouetted Animator is talking about. If you're interested, Supergirl Radio actually did an interview with Joe Whittemore while when we talked about her books with her. So if you are curious about that and you've read some of her books, we do have an interview where we talk to her about her take on the show, because that is definitely a continuation of sorts of the show. So you definitely check those books out. Well, it looks like we got Toni back.
Sorry.
That's
I
okay.
accidentally exited out.
It happens.
That's safer.
All right, let's see.
Here's some.
Okay, so these are the autograph cards that we're looking at.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. So that's so those come in the packages. So you would have to open those up in order to get those cards out.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, I have the quandary of whether or not I would open them, but it's too tempting not to. Like you want to know what's in there.
This one's cool too, because here's Jeremy Jordan's down here.
That's awesome. Look at him smiling. He's got a nice smile. That's cool. Oh, you even have Red Tornado in there, I saw.
Yeah, I
do. That's
and
awesome.
A binder as well for the cards.
Well, that's perfect. That's on theme. You have a Supergirl binder for your Supergirl trading cards.
Absolutely.
That's how you do it.
Exactly.
That is very, very cool. Well,
you were asking about the Martian Manhunter stuff, right?
Yes, I'm very curious because I don't have a lot of Martian Manhunter stuff, and I'm curious about what's available, what I should get. I've been looking at one of those action figures for myself, but I'm curious what you have.
Yeah, I can show you. So I just have like the Justice League one.
Love him. He's so cute.
And then I have this action figure that I recently just got.
Oh wow, is that the Black Mercy in his hand?
Yeah.
Wow, that is really cool.
You can switch his hands out too into like fists as well.
Very cool.
And then I have I think these are called Vinnie Mates.
Oh yes.
And I have him in that. And then I think it's DC icons. It might not be icons. It might be the statues. But this is one of the better action figures, just like the sculpts and.
Yeah, and there's a Supergirl version that sort of matches him that I have in my office. So I need to get the Martian Manhunter who goes with her. So that's really cool. That minifig is awesome. I know at DC Fandom they were giving away an exclusive Supergirl minifig. I don't know if you tried to get that. I tried so hard to get that. I think a friend of mine got one. I was like, oh, come on. You don't want to send it to me?
He's like, oh man, I love it.
I tried so hard to get that thing. So if you see one of those Supergirl DC Fandom minifigs, and you want to get one, you see one that I could get, let me know, because
I would definitely let you know if I see them. I mean, I see them on eBay, but they're really expensive.
Yeah, those like Comic-Con exclusives and things like that. So I'll show you. I recently bought, just to kind of treat myself one day, I bought the Phoebe Buffay Supergirl Pop Funko.
Yeah.
If I can show it. And I've been trying to build up my Supergirl Pop Funko collection, but the Melissa Benoist one can be a little pricey.
Yeah. People are selling it for like $100 right now.
Yeah, I guess it was because it was a Comic-Con exclusive that is that it?
Yeah.
That actually looks really good. That's a good Pop Funko.
Yeah, I like how this turned out.
Yeah, she's in a flying pose. So did that stand come with it?
Yeah, it's actually attached to her.
Oh, smart.
It attaches like all the way up into her back, like up in there.
That is really cool. Yeah, I guess I could take well, it's kind of hard to take Phoebe out of this Pop Funko thing. Let's see if I can get her out of the box. I've already diminished the value of this Pop Funko by removing her from the box. But yeah, that's what this one looks like. It's kind of let's see, can I get her closer? Yeah. I have a green screen, so I guess it's not doing so hot. But that's the most recent collection item that I've added to my set. But I would like to start collecting. There's kind of a more generic Supergirl Pop Funko that's out there. Oh, you have it. Okay. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, so there is a just kind of a general Supergirl, and then there's a Melissa Benoist specific one that Toni has as well.
Yeah, this one people are starting to charge a little bit more now, like around 20 and up a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're going up in value so much right now. Maybe because of the show.
I think it could be that the show's, getting close to the end. It's about to wrap up, and people think they can make
how it's coming to an end. I'm gonna cry.
I know. It is. I guess I'm in the denial stage of it right now. I'm like, whatever. Yeah, that's
we still got like half of the season left.
Yeah, we have such a long time before it ends. Yeah. I guess it'll be here before we know it. But yeah, so those are some things. I guess we could talk about a Pop Funko that one of our listeners sent in. So we did take submissions from listeners to share some of their collectibles. And so Donna sent in, she shared a custom Pop Funko that she had commissioned. And she told us that she had the Pop Funko made because the original Funko's company has continually refused to explain why there has not been a series of Supergirl TV Pops. People have tweeted, called, mailed, and emailed for years. And despite that, there was never an answer other than a vague, it's a licensing issue, despite the fact that nearly all of the other Arrowverse shows have a whole series of Pops. And so Donna finally decided to commission a custom one of Alex Danvers. And she saw the work of at Pop Art Custom. So you can check that user out on Instagram. And she had at Pop Art Customs create the Danvers sisters wait, no, I got that word wrong. Panorama. Yeah, no, that's right. Of the scene from Exodus where Kara and Alex, well, I guess technically Supergirl and Alex are touching each other's hands. Alex is trying to get Supergirl to really push. And so that's an awesome custom Pop Funko that Donna sent in. She also commissioned an artist, Ink. Ooh, I'm going to get this wrong. Incredibly S, which I've linked in the video description, and I will share on the audio podcast show notes. The link for this artist helped Donna bring one of her Supergirl dream scenes to life, that of Alex Danvers being honored on Argo for being such a fierce champion of Supergirl. And the artist sent her the work digitally and she had it blown up and printed to frame. So there's actually also some details of Kryptonian writing on the piece of artwork. So that's really cool. So there is a little bit of a hole in some Supergirl merchandise where, people are having to create their own stuff and, get things commissioned. So what do you think about that, Toni? Do you think there are, ways in which, companies could create merchandise where there is none?
Yeah, the lack of the creation of the lack of creation of other characters, it's only a couple of Supergirl official Supergirl releases for the CW's version, and there's not even much of Martian Manhunter. There's only 3 things, and then they have the statues, of course, of Melissa, but it was very limited compared to the other Arrowverse shows, Donna was saying as well.
Yeah, so it's mostly Supergirl and Martian Manhunter stuff, and even then it's somewhat limited. There are some things, I'm trying to think of things that I have. A lot of the things that I have are comic book related or just generic Supergirl things. I'm trying to see if there's anything I want to show. So I'll show some Supergirl TV series stuff I have. Excuse me, I've got to go down to my floor where all my collection is housed. So hang on a second. So I do have some things. Like there's I try to collect like whatever there is. So I think I'm more of like an Amazon collector. You're kind of more on that eBay side, which is really smart. I haven't really gone to eBay very much, but Amazon actually has some cool stuff. That's where I find a lot of my stuff. There is a Supergirl calendar. Oh, geez. Let me let's see if I can get this to show across the screen where there's no glare. This is the 2021-2022, so it's very relevant. I could use it if I wanted to. I'm probably not going to write in it though, but it does have some images from, let's see if I can flip through, of the show. So
that is amazing.
So it's very cool. So this, and I just really like that picture of Supergirl. That's that photo shoot where I think it was that Entertainment Weekly where she's busting out of the Kryptonian chain. Yeah, I love that photo shoot. So I had to pick that up. Let's see.
Amazing. I love that.
I have a lot of books. So I don't know if you collect. Do you collect books, Toni, or do you mostly collect figures and trading cards and things like that?
Depending on what it's for. If it's some sort of like project that I really like, it doesn't even have to be Supergirl. Sometimes it's like Wonder Woman as well, and Tomb Raider and Ghost Rider. I do have magazines as well, and some books.
I think you had this one.
Yes.
Did I see this on your Instagram?
Yes.
So this is actually back from October 26th through November 8th, 2015. So I've kept this for 6 years in my comic book long box. I got this when the show, I think this was like right when the show premiered. She landed, Melissa Benoist, the Supergirl, landed on TV Guide. And I think they recently had, I think you picked him. I think I saw him on your Instagram. They had like, it said something like Super Sisters on the cover, maybe. Yeah. I looked everywhere for that. I was on a trip to Hawaii, and I kept looking in all the airports and looking in all the grocery stores we went in. I could not find a TV Guide to save my life. So
I couldn't find them forever either. Where I found them at was Barnes & Noble.
Oh, smart. Yeah, I'm gonna have to contact TV Guide and be like, "Hey, do you have back issues of that you can send me? Because I really wanted that TV Guide and I couldn't find it anywhere." But yeah, so that's a really cool issue. This is a book I probably would recommend to people. It's a little out of date. Oh, and you can see my green screen's kind of messing up. But it is the Secret Files of Kara Danvers. So it's a Supergirl book that has things about the characters and the show. So there's a lot of kind of fun things in here where you have like a Catco. Ooh, sorry, I'm knocking things down with all my books. But there is a Catco application if Mike Matthews is trying to get a job at Catco. So there's some fun things in there. There's also a digital version of that Kara, the Secret Files of Kara Danvers. So if you don't want to carry the big book around, there's also a trivia book that I picked up once. We're going to have to make use of that on Supergirl Radio. We're going to have to play some trivia. I don't know if anybody wants to play some trivia now, but there's quizzes in here. So it has the quizzes and the answers. I'm going to cheat. Y'all can cheat and get those answers. But yeah, so I collect a lot of books. I have some action figures, but I guess I nerd out about the books. So there's quite a good bit of Supergirl TV series stuff in the way of books and calendars, which is nice.
That's awesome.
Are there any things that you see from other fandoms or other TV shows or other comic book things that you're like, man, I wish they had one of those for Supergirl? Is there anything like that out there?
Just like in general, I wish there was more like posters available. Like I do a lot of those for like everything else pretty much. Like like official ones. I have really cool like custom ones done from artists. that just have done them themselves, or what's the word I'm looking for?
Like commissioned.
I didn't commission them for it. They just did it themselves. I guess.
Oh.
I can't think of what I'm trying to say. Like, I guess their own little versions of stuff from the show. Like, someone made a portrait of Lena, and I had to have it because Katie is amazing and I love her.
Katie is amazing. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I know you do have a National City poster, something or other there hanging on your wall.
I do.
So you do have some cool artwork there.
There it is.
That's so awesome. So oh, and you have the Supergirl and the Flash racing each other. Now that is cool. Where did you get those? Was that were those eBay purchases?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I wish I had that Supergirl Flash one. That is really cool.
The one next to it that's the same size is autographed.
I do see an autograph up there. That is really cool.
It's supposed to be from Comic-Con. I don't know if I can angle the camera. You know what?
Was that an exclusive Comic-Con situation?
Yeah, it was from Comic-Con. I didn't get to go, but I had to buy it off of someone on eBay, and it was really expensive, but it was worth it. It's like,
that's awesome. Yeah, that looks like one of those posters they would have like put out on a table and the whole cast.
Yeah, I found like a video of the whole cast signing it, and the person said they went there themselves and got it signed personally. And I found a video, like I said, of them signing it, and most of them were signing in the same places. And just by comparing the signatures to like other ones online, they're like exactly the same. So
that is really cool. Do you know what season that is?
I think it's from season 5. I think. Yeah, season 5 premiere.
Oh, that is so cool. And that's a great shot of Supergirl too. Like that's just a good poster, just in general. Oh man, that is so cool.
It was from the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con.
That is so awesome.
I wish I would have got this myself in person, but I mean, I'm just happy to have their autographs, to be honest.
No, that's really cool. Yeah, I've kind of gotten out of practice collecting autographs because recently when I go to Dragon Con every year, so a lot of times now I will go for pictures with the person versus an autograph.
Okay.
Just because like I got to the point where I like couldn't keep up with all that autographs I was collecting. And so now I've kind of gotten out of the habit of actually getting them signed. I do have Helen Slater's autograph. I even have like a custom comic book art signed by Helen Slater. And also Laura Vandervoort signed some things for me. So I have a few of those, but I haven't gotten any. I don't ever get to see the actors from the show because they never really come to Dragon Con because they're usually shooting the seasons by that time. Gotcha. So it's very rare to get these CW actors coming to Dragon Con. So maybe once the show is finished, they'll come over to Atlanta and I can get to see them there. But yeah, so that's awesome. That is really cool. Well, I think that's a great purchase that you made, trying to go after those in that exclusive San Diego Comic-Con stuff. That's cool that you have video of them signing that exact one. That's really awesome.
Yeah, I found it on YouTube. Like I was just searching up and see if anyone had anything about it before I bought it. And I mean, the seller had great ratings, and they had a whole bunch of other San Diego Comic-Con stuff too. They had Flash, they had Supernatural, they had Arrow. Like there's no way like that is not real. like I don't. That would be really hard to fake, to be honest. Like that many signatures.
Yeah. And it sounds like you have some verifiable proof that it is connected to what you've seen. So that's awesome. Well, and that brings up a good point. Are there things that people should look for when they're purchasing some things? Because it is possible that some things could be faked. So how does a collector protect themselves? And what should we be looking out for when we try to purchase something?
Yeah, I think you should like look at where it's coming from, like what the seller, what other items the seller has, their ratings, just compare, especially if it's something that multiple people have, compare them and see if there's similarities that are a little too, similar, especially like with autographs. I mean, they're going to vary, of course, but there should be some similarities, but they shouldn't be exactly the same, I think. What else should you look at? The descriptions, of course, make sure everything like matches up. If they say it's from like, for instance, if that's supposed to be from the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con, see if you can, find another listing that has the same information on it, or some sort of video, or something that kind of helps validate it.
Do some of these, like especially autographs, do they come with because some of the autographs that I've purchased in the past from eBay, I'm a big Charlie's Angels fan, so I got a Charlie's Angels movie autograph poster. Sometimes they'll come with like a certificate of authenticity. Do some of the things that you've purchased come with that?
Some of the other autographs I have up on the wall from this other seller on Macari, they write like that they go to all these Comic-Con events and stuff. They do have like a little sticker on the side that was for like a certificate of authenticity. They didn't have like an actual printout, but they had the stickers, and they had a lot of good ratings as well, like a couple hundred, like 5-star reviews. And they also offered a money back guarantee if you would take it to like JSA or PSA. If they failed, they would give you your money back.
That's good.
Yeah, that was one thing there.
Yeah, yeah. I guess, I mean, could you fake a certificate of authenticity? That sounds
I guess it depends on
wild.
what company is doing it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like JSA and PSA are two of the biggest ones that are really good at authenticating autographs.
You have to be really deceptive to fake a certificate of authenticity. Like that has to be really evil to do that, because you're trying to prove it's authentic, and if you're faking the
Right.
authenticity, that is really devious. So hopefully, if it comes with a certificate of authenticity, it is authentic. But that's a really good thing to talk about, because you never know. I mean, you do have to trust the seller when you buy these things online, and so you do have to check that out. That does bring me to another point. Do you ever buy things like, when I go to fan conventions, there's usually a big vendor floor where you can go around and buy some things. Do you ever check those out? I mean, I know we haven't been to fan conventions in a while.
I actually never got to go to a fan convention. I never had the opportunity, and I'm really sad I never got to go. I went to a lot of concerts though. I was more into the concert scene. I didn't have anyone to go with as well, and I was a little bit younger at the time, and I would have been too terrified to go by myself.
Toni, make it a goal for yourself to either, go to somewhere. I'm sure there's a convention probably close to wherever you live, but definitely go check it out. Usually when there's like some of the smaller conventions will have some sort of vendor area where they'll have artists who come in and draw some things, or you can buy, there's usually a big Pop Funko presence at a lot of vendor areas, so you can probably find some things there. I actually got this commissioned at a fan convention one time. I just saw an artist who was drawing some things, and so I was like, "Hey, can you draw me Supergirl?" And so he did, and he did it on I think it was connected to this Rebirth issue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's very cool. That I like to try to do that, to find some custom art. I also collect art, and I never have anywhere to put it, but I like to collect it. I can't help myself. If you're a big fan of Supergirl, custom art to where it's stuff that's related to the show, I also recommend Comicer Girl. We're a big fan of Comicer Girl here on Supergirl Radio, and she's done some really awesome things. I actually mentioned this. I don't know, was this a couple of episodes ago on Supergirl Radio, where I mentioned this Argo City poster. It's kind of hard to see it.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah, so go check out. I'll have to put Comicer Girl's link in the video description, and the the audio podcast show notes to the link to her store, because she does some awesome stuff, and I highly recommend it. So I'm going to need to get a few things of hers framed that I have and put up on a wall, because I love her stuff. So there are people filling those gaps of where maybe the CW or Warner Brothers or whoever is not putting out that kind of material, but there are fans who are creating it, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
Are there any other things in your collection you want to tell people about?
Probably this. This is excuse the noises, but So this was a cast and crew gift, and I had to get it off of eBay. It was a season 5 hoodie. I think I actually saw Nicole Maines wearing the same one at one
That's so
point.
cool.
And there was like a behind the scenes picture, and one of the crew members had the same one on. You can see like the back design, but this is the front. It's just a you can see the Supergirl season 5,
right?
And then the back is where
is that where it gets good?
Yes.
Oh, that might be done by our friend Dave Jones. That looks like some of his stuff, but I don't know if that is exactly. I'll have to ask him if he did the back of that. But yeah, so if people don't know the back of that hoodie, if you're only listening to audio, it had a bunch of Supergirl characters in the art style of the Super Friends TV show from I believe the 1970s. So you can see Brainiac 5 and Alex Danvers and Supergirl and Martian Manhunter and Dreamer, and it says Super Friends underneath it. Oh wow, that is so cool. That's a great find. So you found that on eBay?
Yeah, it was funny because I woke up and the person wanted a lot of money for it, and at the time I didn't have enough, and so I was like watching it all day, and and I over the last summer rather, I helped my brother do some like a whole bunch of house construction work stuff, and he said that he would give me money for it eventually, and I was never concerned about it right away, but I was like, hey man, I was like, you got some of that money. So that's how I got that. But I mean, I stained his house, like outside of his house.
Well, that
was like a lot of work.
that you earned it. You earned that hoodie. That's awesome. Yeah, you earned it. Oh, is that I assume that's a Supergirl season 5 crew hat.
It is.
Wow. Okay, so for the audio only listeners of the podcast, what Toni is holding up is a dark baseball cap with an S shield, but instead of an S, there's a 5 in there. So that is really cool. Does it have anything on the back, or is it just on the front?
Nah, that's just plain.
That's cool though. So is this another eBay purchase?
Yes.
Man, I have got to look at eBay. Apparently, I'm looking all in the wrong places. I think the only thing I got from eBay for my Supergirl collection is Luke Bug, the Geek of Steel. He told me about a Supergirl. I don't think I have it. That I didn't pull this out, but he told me about a Supergirl Wizard of Oz comic. It was a variant cover of a comic, and so I finally bought that. But I had to buy that off eBay because that was the only place I could find it. Because unfortunately, sometimes with like local comic book shops, it's limited to what they have in their inventory, so you never know what you're going to find there. Sometimes you can find gems just flipping through the boxes, but if you're looking for something specific, sometimes you have to go to eBay or Amazon or some other online retailer.
Absolutely.
That's really cool. So you actually have stuff only the cast and crew gets. But Toni has them.
There's one more thing I can show you that was really
awesome.
Cool. Sorry, I knocked my camera down a little bit.
That is okay.
So this one was cool. This one I actually found on Poshmark.
Yes, this is the so this was a t-shirt that was worn by Melissa Benoist in an interview, if I'm remembering this correctly. It was the first time I had seen it.
The back is funny, but it was Kevin Smith.
Yeah, that's not something that I can read on the podcast.
Yeah,
but it's obviously
just had to show you what it was. So
yeah, that's an inside joke related to Kevin Smith, who has been a director on several episodes of Supergirl. It has inappropriate language for the family-friendly vibe we're going for here on Supergirl Radio. But that's really cool. So I do think that Melissa Benoist was pictured wearing that. So it is cool that you have a copy of that. Very, very cool.
Just show the front. My bad. Wasn't really thinking, but
what's that?
I probably should have just showed the front of that. Sorry.
No, it's totally fine. It's just kind of my personal vibe, but it's no big deal. So that's really cool that you've actually gone out and tried to find things that are just just made. I mean, they're just made for the cast and crew. They're not made for the public consumption. But
Yeah.
you have tracked those down. That is really cool. Because I mean, some people who are on the cast and crew might be like, "Hey, I don't need this hoodie, but maybe somebody else will like this," and so they sell it. But yeah, so that's really, really cool. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have anything like that. The only thing there are a couple of things I wanted to share just because we talked a little bit about art and vendors and artists that you might find at comic book conventions or fan conventions. I think you might have a statue based off this artist in your collection.
I don't have the standard one. I have the Joker variant, I think.
Yes. So I have the standard one somewhere here. But I discovered this artist. I think her name is Chrissy Zulo. Do I have that correctly? Yes, Chrissy Zulo. But I found this piece of artwork at Dragon Con. And then I bought her. This is a Supergirl gray. I think I have the gray and the black and white version of that same. I think you have the Jokerized version, which is cool. I didn't know that existed, but I have the black and white one with the streaky. I don't know if you can see the streaky, the super cat on there. Yeah. So that's really cool. So yeah, a lot of what I do is I'll collect art. One time I was at Pensacon in Florida, and I found I believe it was the inker for the Sterling Gates Bizarro Girl comic, and he was selling pages of his originals.
That's amazing.
So I was like, I went back and forth on it because he was selling them for a little a hefty price.
Yeah.
But I was like, when am I ever going to be coming face to face with an original from Bizarro Girl, which is probably one of my favorite Supergirl comic book stories. So those are kind of the things that I look for. I really like collecting art and books, especially. But
awesome.
But I'm glad to see that you have some things that are very special and unique. So, and there were some people in the chat who were asking about the T-shirt that you're wearing. Do you also collect T-shirts as well?
Oh yeah, I buy a lot of T-shirts. This one's actually from TeePublic.
Nice.
It was I forget the artist's name, but I think it's still up on the site. They designed this themselves.
Very cool. Yeah, so for people who are only listening to audio, it's a Supergirl and it has a Melissa Benoist artistic rendering on the shirt. So there's actually TeePublic has a lot of good Supergirl shirts, and so that's another way that fans are filling the gap is drawing their own T-shirt designs, because there are some like official Supergirl T-shirts and hats, but the fans are really making up for it.
I think I have the blue one, the blue shirt that just has the logo on it.
Yes, they was that from the CBS days? Because I remember early on CBS released a bunch of official T-shirts.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be based off of the CBS version. Like I think it's like Graffiti Tees made that one. Then I have another one that's packed away somewhere that has like a cape attached to it.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, if you're gonna wear an S shield, you gotta have a cape attached to it.
Right.
Now that I think about it, all my S shield shirts need to have capes attached to it. What am I doing? I'm walking around with an S shield, no cape, all this time. I've been doing it wrong. That is really cool. Well, are there any other things that you would like to share with us? I guess we kind of are there anything? Are there any items or anything that you're currently eyeballing that you want to get that you haven't gotten already?
I still need to get, I think it's the regular season 4 DVD. I have all the other ones in the Blu-rays. And I think I can't really think of anything else at the moment.
I had a question about the DVDs and Blu-rays. So I know that there is I recently bought because I think I saw it in your Instagram and I was like, I gotta get that. There was a season 2 steelbook
Steelbook,
version.
yeah.
Are there steelbooks of all of the seasons, or was it just season 2? Do you know?
It's just season 2, actually. Because I looked into that and I couldn't find anything else other than season 2.
Huh.
And even just like on Google, like researching it, I couldn't find anything other than the season 2 one.
Yeah, I wonder why it's just season 2, but like that cover is so cool. I mean, it's sort of a variant cover, if you will, of the Blu-ray. It's not necessarily a Melissa Benoist photo shoot, but it's Melissa Benoist as Supergirl as an artistic rendering, as some sort of, kind of an art drawing. So it's different from what they normally do for those sets. Man, I wonder why just season 2. That's weird.
Exclusive. Yeah, I don't know why it was only season 2. I was like, can you make more?
Could you please do that for all seasons of the show? Thank you. Because I am
soundtracks as well. I don't know.
Oh, you do have the soundtracks.
Just the CD versions. I think that's all they made were the CDs, but like that one.
That looks like season 1. Yeah. Okay.
Season 3, I believe.
Yeah, that looks like season 3. Yeah. That is really cool. Yeah, I haven't I have them a lot of these things I have digitally, but I don't have hard copies of them. But I know I have a couple of things like I'm a big Zack Snyder fan, so I have like the Batman v Superman hard copies of the discs, and they have special like unique art, and the way the CDs are packaged is usually pretty unique in the way they package it, and the art or the images that they put in there. And so sometimes getting those physical CDs are worth it, even if you do have the music digital.
Yeah, it was I think there were like a limited amount of copies made for them too, so it's kind of hard to find those for a little while.
Oh, really? Interesting. I'm gonna have to track some of those down, because I've been trying to build up my DVD and Blu-ray set, mostly Blu-ray because I like Blu-rays. But but I'm trying to catch up on my Blu-ray, because for so long, Blu-rays are kind of expensive when they come out, and so I kind of waited for the price to go down, and now I'm trying to build that Blu-ray up. But that's really cool to know about the CDs. Let's see. Leslie says in the chat that Blake Neely, who is the composer for the show, for the music, promises to release a new Supergirl soundtrack soon. So I'm assuming, is there a season 5 out? Season 4, season 5? Do you know?
For the CD wise, I think there was only like 1 to 3. I don't know if there was like a digital copy rather for the other seasons, or if there was this soundtrack. There's probably is some sort of soundtrack. I haven't really looked into it though, because the only ones I could find were those 3.
That is wild if they don't. I'm gonna look up real quick. Let's see if I can find it. Soundtrack. Because season 4 had the great Lex Luthor music that goes along with it. His theme I always enjoy. You always know when Lex is up to no good because his music comes in. Yeah, I'm only finding 1 through 3 on Amazon, so we'll have to look into season 4 and season 5 with the soundtracks. Yeah, so it sounds like Leslie is saying it would be season 4 and 5. So I guess those have not been released as of yet. So we'll have to grab those right when they come out.
Absolutely.
Since Toni is saying those are hard to find. So if you're interested in the music, hop on those when they get released, because it gets more difficult as the years go by. Oh, well, that is cool. Okay, so are there any other things that you want to share really quickly before I let you go?
Yeah, I guess just one more thing. I found these on, I think it was Redbubble. There was like a artist named Demons and Donuts made these Lena Luthor pins.
Oh, those are so cool. So it's a pin of Lena Luthor's head, face, or whatever you want to call it, but it has the packaging, I think, is the coolest part, because it's got the L Corp logo in there. That is really, really cool.
It's hard to see on the camera, but like one of them has like the blue eyes from like the simulation, and then one just has her regular eyes.
What? That, oh, I see the difference now. Oh, that is so cool. Well, that's
yeah.
that's a unique find. So does that artist have other characters or just Lena Luthor?
They do other stuff that I've seen. They do like Winona Earp pins, and I didn't really see a lot of other ones from Supergirl. They might have had like Supergirl too, but um I think that was it that I've noticed. I didn't really look too much into it. I just saw the Lena Luthor ones, and I was like, "This is no Lena stuff ever." So
So I take it Lena's one of your favorite characters?
absolutely,
Yeah, okay. Well, if I ever find some Lena stuff, I will send it your way because that's good
Thank
to
you.
know. Well, very, very, very cool. Well, thank you, Toni, for hanging out with me well, I should say tonight, but this week. We're going to try to keep this episode a little evergreen so it doesn't just stay here tonight. It's something that everybody can listen to many years from now. But thank you for joining me for this episode of Supergirl Radio and sharing your awesome stuff that you've tracked down and that you've worked hard to earn that money to buy these things. And I think that's really special and really cool. And it's a good way to educate people about the show and share your passion for it. So I think that's really cool that you've done that.
Thank you for having me. It was really fun, and it was really nice getting to talk about stuff that people wanted to hear about.
Well, like I said, I am very jealous. Your Instagram keeps me inspired, and it also keeps me looking for things that I would like to track down myself to help build my collection. So I hope others who are watching this live stream or listening to this podcast episode are inspired as well, because I think collections are. I'm very interested in collections because I work with museums, and museums have collections, and so I'm learning a lot about collections and what different things that people like to collect. And so I think what we do as fans of Supergirl and fans of TV shows is very interesting, because there can be a lot of things out there that you can track down, and there might not be a lot, and some things are kind of rare. And so it's interesting when people do find those little nuggets that nobody else can get. So please keep sharing all of your cool things. And thank you for doing that. So where can our listeners find you on the internet so they can keep up with your collection?
Yeah, so I have Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah. So if you want to keep up with Toni on Instagram, it's at @T_Marie_collectibles. There should be a link in the video description and the audio podcast show notes. TikTok is also a new venture, it sounds like, for Toni. So you can follow Toni on TikTok at @super_strings with a Z. I applaud you for giving TikTok a go. We joke here on Supergirl Radio that we are too old for TikTok.
No, you should do it. It's fun.
So I'm glad that other people understand how to use it and what it's for. So I think that'll be really cool. And I think, sharing Supergirl things on TikTok is cool. I'm glad there's people talking about Supergirl on TikTok.
There is a fan base on TikTok. I was quite surprised, actually.
Good. Well, that's good to know. It's good to know people are talking about Supergirl. I'm always happy when that's the case. Well, I think that's gonna do it for us for this episode, talking about Supergirl collectibles and keeping up with the cool things that everybody is looking for and purchasing and collecting. And so I think we are gonna get to some plugs if I can find them, and then we'll be back to wrap everything up. If you would like to contact Supergirl Radio, you can post a comment on our website at supergirlradio.com. You can email us at supergirlradio@gmail.com. If you'd like to leave us a voicemail, you can call us at 678-718-7252. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram, all at Supergirl Radio. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Podchaser, and Spotify, where we also have a Spotify playlist that includes music featured on and inspired by the CW's Supergirl TV series. We are listed on DC's fan page, which you can find at dccomics.com/DC-fans. If you like what we do, we encourage you to give us a rating and write us a review on Apple Podcasts. If you enjoy our Supergirl Radio live streams, make sure to subscribe to the DC TV Podcast YouTube channel and hit that notification bell to get notified when we go live and Wired. DCTV Podcast also has a TeePublic store, so if you're in need of new DCTV related t-shirts, tank tops, sweatshirts, onesies, mugs, notebooks, pillows, or stickers, go to supergirlradio.com and click on the TeePublic store link at the top of the page.
Supergirl Radio, Superman and Lois Radio, The Flash Podcast, and Legends of Tomorrow Podcast, Black Lightning Podcast, Batwoman Podcast 2, and Titans and Doom Patrol Podcast just for you. Justice League Dark Podcast, Green Lantern Podcast, Stargirl Podcast, Strange Adventures Podcast, and finally my favorite of the bunch, DCTV After Dark, where you're allowed to say fuck.
Yeah, DCTV After Dark is the more mature podcast on the DCTV Podcast Network. So if you are interested in meeting the hosts of all the podcasts, DCTV After Dark is the place for you. It is officially part of the Morgan Glennon podcast podcast universe, I guess, not the cinematic universe, but the Morgan Glennon podcast universe. So definitely check it out. And since we were talking about Pop Funkos earlier, if you're interested in having some TeePublic designs that have Pop Funko characters on them, in the DCTV podcast TeePublic store, we do have some designs that have different characters as Pop Funkos. There's a Carl one, there's an Alex one. I think James is maybe one. I think there might even be a Maggie one. So definitely go check out the DCTV podcast TeePublic store. There's a link in the video description as well as the podcast audio show notes. So if you want to go check those out, it's a pretty cool thing. If you were interested in Pop Funkos, I found are very popular. Lots of people like collecting Pop Funkos. I recently met someone within the past year who collects her collection is she collects Pop Funkos of film directors, which was very interesting to me. So I was like, oh no, which filmmakers do you have? So I think I can't remember which ones she had, but I think there might be like a Hitchcock one, and there might have been maybe a Del Toro, I think, was maybe a Pop Funko. So I'm like, man, I need to start a filmmaker Pop Funko collection. That sounds awesome. That was a pretty cool collection. That's her nerdy thing. We have Supergirl. That friend of mine was into film directors, and so that was really cool. Well, we would also like to thank here on Supergirl Radio our Supergirl Radio Patreon supporters. So thank you to Michael, Sam, Anne Marie, Grout, Yvonne, Quinn, Jessica, Nicola, Leslie, Abby, Ermgard, Miriam, Cherie, Donna, Nicole, Lizeth, Deb, Susan, EH, Naomi, and V. Brewster. Thank you for supporting the podcast and helping, keep the lights on here at Supergirl Radio and allowing us to do some fun, cool things for the podcast and for the listeners. And you can, if you want to join and become a Supergirl Radio Patreon supporter, you can go to patreon.com/Supergirl Radio. We have 4 monthly levels that you can choose from and get different things at different levels. And the Supergirl Radio Patreon is just kind of extra Supergirl Radio. You'll get the regular Supergirl Radio every week where we talk about Supergirl. But if you want some extra stuff, you can definitely join in the Patreon community. This week, you should be able to, if you're a Patreon supporter, you'll get to see a little behind the scenes of me taking a picture in Hawaii with my flat Supergirl. And I guess we could talk about the flat Supergirl contest that we're still running. This contest is going to go until the TV show ends. So we've got a while. So you can take as many pictures as you want. But basically, the Flat Supergirl contest is we commissioned one of our favorite Supergirl artists to draw us a little Supergirl figure that you can print out and cut out and then put her on a popsicle stick, a pen, pencil, something, just attach her to it and then take her with you somewhere, some cool landmark in your town or just doing chores around the house and have her pictured doing some things. And just take a creative picture and find a cool way to use Flat Supergirl. And after you do that, just post the image to social media, tag at Supergirl Radio, whether you're on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, and use the hashtag Supergirl Adventures, and we will be able to see it that way. And then at the end of the show's run, we're going to pick a winner and send you some cool stuff. And it looks like we got a submission from Donna at DJ Ryder this week with she had also commissioned a flat Alex to go along with Supergirl. So so Supergirl and Alex were hanging out with with their cat friends this week. So you can take as many pictures as you want. Just make sure to tag them and use the hashtag, and we'll be able to see them and put that in our entries. So that's a pretty cool contest. I got to get my flat Supergirl back out and take her with me wherever I'm going and get some more pictures with her. If you want to keep up with me personally, I'm on Instagram at the Derby Kid. I post the occasional photography attempt and video of Canada geese in my neighborhood that I'm weirdly obsessed with. If you also want to check out my personal YouTube channel, you can go to youtube.com/duckmilkprod. I am currently, I know I say it all the time on the podcast, but I'm currently in the works of getting back to my Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice series. I got some cool stuff coming up for that. I'm hoping to start a weekly reading. I think I'm going to call it Reading Reviews with Rebecca, where we look at the top critic reviews of Batman v Superman, and we're just going to go through them and maybe criticize them a little bit. And so we'll take a look at those and analyze those critical reviews and look at the critical reception of the movie. And so that I think is going to be really fun, because that'll be a good way, I think, to handle that. So if you want to keep up with me there, I'm also a contributor to the Justice League Universe podcast, where we analyze the DC films, the DCEU films specifically. So if you want to hear my thoughts on that. And I also recently wrapped up an audio voice acting performance and career. My voice acting career is wrapped up officially and finished on the Facus. So if you want to listen to a sketch comedy, I guess almost sketch dramedy towards the end, it gets pretty serious. But if you want to check out a really funny, witty, well-written audio podcast drama from our friend Bill Meeks. He wrote it and he edited every episode. You can check out thefacus.com. All the episodes, the story is complete. So if you now want to just go back and binge it, you can definitely do that, and highly recommend. Good stuff. All right. So I guess that is going to do it for this episode of Supergirl Radio. But until next time, I am still Rebecca Johnson, and I hope you enjoyed this little show and tell of our Supergirl collectibles. I think the CW are just trying to win the time slot war with Supergirl Radio.
Supergirl Radio is going live every night of the week. How do you like it? Is becoming a human burrito a plus or a minus? I don't know. It does seem snug.
I mean, they say you are what you eat.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So I do a podcast called Supergirl Radio, and one of our segments is Lena Luthor, Boardroom or Ballroom, because
She looks like a boss in this coat.
Is Nasty Luthor like a different Luthor? It's not just Lena being mean?
No.
Helen Slater here. It's so fun to know that you're hosting a podcast called Supergirl Radio.
Yeah!